Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. Let's do our mandatory camera adjustment. Like my fancy background, like my fancy shirt. Yes, I'm very bright for you today. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about megafauna. And human systems, large scale fixing utopianism, and why it all fails. So humans are massively creative hackers. As predators, as the top apex species on the planet, we are fundamentally hackers. And that's kind of a hard thing for people to understand. And people argue with this a lot. You know, I'll make an argument about how people are the top apex predator, and someone will say, oh yeah, I'm sure you say that when the tiger is sitting above you in the tree branch. It's like, well, yes, actually I do, because it's likely that I have, if I'm running around in the woods, and it's not going to be a tiger, it's going to be a mountain lion, because I live in North America, and we do have cougars, not just in bars. And look at this, if I'm being cougared, woo. So if there's a mountain lion sitting on the branch and it's going to attack me because it wants a 200-pound dude instead of a 90-pound antelope, it's crazy, but probably out there in the wilds, I have a gun on my hip. Just plain and simple. It's not a simple prey situation. We are competing predators at times, and predators will take any opportunity that they have to get what they need if they're hungry enough. But cougars aren't going to destroy American civilization. Mountain lions are not going to destroy American civilization, nor are they a threat to a farmstead, a family, a group of humans. We are the apex species on the planet, and trying to argue that with the fact that we're not super strong is ridiculous. You know, we're not actually fragile. Humans are not actually very fragile. We have a lot of endurance. Honestly, I can run across the country, literally run 3,000 miles over the course of several months in a fashion that would literally kill a mountain lion. That's part of, humans are weird. But we're hackers. We don't do it because we have big, huge, strong teeth. We don't do it because we have big, huge claws or anything. And this is where people have a hard time understanding that there is a component to this, kind of a mental component, intelligence component, behavioral component to this that outweighs all of that stuff. What does that mean? It means that we are very, very dangerous to larger systems, larger entities, larger stuff. And this is why megafauna went extinct. I need to not stumble over that because this is really important. This is why megafauna went extinct. Now, this is largely true. It's not completely true. There's still a couple sperm whales out there. There's still some elephants out there. But for the most part, we killed the megafauna species of the planet. Okay, we killed a lot of them. We killed millions of them. We caused entire species to just stop existing because we overhunted them or outcompeted them if they were predators. Things were way bigger and fatter during our rise to the top. A lot of our rise to the top was fueled by large, slow, durable game. You know, the whole mammoth, caveman eat mammoth thing. It's largely true, right? Wild cattle, the wild cattle are extinct. The domesticated cattle are not, because we use them and we breed them. But how did we do that? Well, we did it by hacking. We did it by solving problems in a creative and non-natural, non-nature fashion. Where everything's entirely natural, but I guess what I'm getting at is we didn't follow the regular rules of the natural world, where if you have a bigger prey animal, you must have a bigger predator. No, we just decided to invent spears. You'll bleed out, and we can run for 50 miles while you do it. And it doesn't bother us. You know, the calories are going to be the same because you're a 5,000-pound elephant. No problem. Lots of fat, lots of energy. We hacked it. We are extremely dangerous to large systems because large systems cannot respond to hacker inputs. Now I want you to extend this a little bit. You know where I'm going with this, right? We killed the megafauna, and that is why large human institutions never, ever survive intact human hacking. So this is an argument in favor of decentralization. You can make a network of small things that follow a goal, that achieve a goal, like federal government. The way to make that work is a lot of decentralized, smaller local entities, not trying to do a singular top-down imperial rule that actually has control over everything. It never works, it always fails, and it always leaves avenues and room for people to hack. Because that's what we do. We are the fundamental world hackers. All right? I just want you to extend this a little bit, and I want you to think about this. We are the reason megafauna were an evolutionary dead end. Okay? The ultra large things, like the cave sloth. Man, the giant cave sloths. No chance. No chance with human predators. Not a chance at all. You know? Saber-toothed tigers, not a chance with human predators. So just the megafauna, we killed them off. We hunted them out, or we outcompeted them, or we just decided to defend ourselves against them, and we were no longer prey, and we killed them. And we tend to be very aggressive about that. We actually understand the concept of safety. So we'll go hunt all of the threats in an area so that we're safe. That causes some species to just die out, competing predatory dangerous species to die out. That's how it works. But we do it through hacking. We do it through tool use and inventing new systems and coming up with ways around the rules. Civilization is largely developing ways around the laws of the universe, or to make them serve us. We're hackers. Large systems. All large systems are susceptible to hacking. Small systems are too, but large systems are much more vulnerable. Okay? It's much harder to drive squirrels to extinction, for example, than it is giant ground sloths, right? There's just millions and millions and millions of squirrels, and they breed like squirrels, like rabbits, like, rodents, and we can eat them, but it's unlikely that we're going to eat them into extinction. There are places where our hacking gets a little out of control, so there's the passenger pigeon, which required a certain number to manage to survive, and we got below that number. No analogy is perfect, right? But large systems are incredibly susceptible to human hacking events. And megafauna, every time you think that you're going to have the one true killer company, killer dominant thing, the social credit system, the one social media site, the one car company, the one media empire, every time you think about that, remember that humans will hack it. And you may not even see it at first, but this is going to drive the extinction and the change and the breakdown and the break up. So if you want to build resilient systems, if you want to build anti-fragile systems, and there's a difference between resilience and anti-fragility, but you want both, then you need to decentralize and disperse. This is the key to the future. This is probably the key to the next big wave of technological disruptive change in humanity. So if you're a betting person, you want to bet on which way technology is going to go. It's not going to continue to be singular, large corporate control of data in the cloud, communication. People know that if they put their data into Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever, that some entity can read it and judge them and kick them off the platform or deny them life or put them in jail. So there's no security there. So what happens is people hack it. People hack it by storing hashes, encrypted data. That hackers, people are hackers. And then eventually the system fails because the system is not being used for its intended purpose. It's being used for other purposes that are more profitable, and the system fails. This is how it all goes. Bet on decentralization, because what people are going to start doing now is relying on further and further on individually controlled technologies, goods, and services. And then if they use your cloud, they'll be using your cloud to help their internal freedom system instead of being reliant on your cloud. And if your cloud goes away, they'll just use something else. Storage is cheap, man. Just an example. The broader case applies globally to almost all technologies. Okay, we've already seen it a lot with power generation. A lot of people, especially in rural areas, are opting for more localized power generation. And the only thing that's preventing people from having neighborhood grids is the government, and you just hack your way around that. I know people with multiple farmsteads, who connect their own little power grid by using low voltage DC, which isn't regulated the same way. So stuff like that occurs, okay? Hacking is going to always change things, and humans are dangerous, incredibly dangerous to megafauna or centralized systems. We've done a fantastic job over the 20th century of creating a bunch of centralized systems. They're not going to survive the next wave of technological development. That is the key. So every time you look at the mega corporation, just remember the mastodon. and I love it because it's a name of a pseudo-decentralized social platform right now. So it's a really good joke. Just remember, and Mastodon is essentially hacked into uselessness. Decentralization is the wave of the future, I think, and if you want to work with that, I think that you should be working on making decentralization work better. In a human sphere, that means more independent thinkers seeking less permission from others. That's my project. That's what I do. In a technological sphere, it means that AI, artificial intelligence, functionally is going to be based on you, on your home, with local processing as much as possible. It's not going to be a cloud service for very much longer. It's not going to rely on saying, hey, to Google or Alexa or whatever, and getting some network connection to do the speech recognition and the work and track every movement. It's going to become very local. It's going to be on your computer, on your wrist, in your pocket. And that's going to change the game. It's going to change the world. Everything's going that way. Everything's trending that way. This is one of the reasons why, if you're in the transportation space, you cannot bet on getting rid of POVs, privately owned vehicles. Bicycles, electric bicycles, motorcycles, cars, trucks, buses, and vans. RV buses, not public transit buses. Is that people will want that decentralized individual authority in every aspect of their life, and that will always, always win. The only way to make that not win is to put an authoritarian system in that is going to be unitary and solid and get hacked and fall. So that's it. Stay sideways and continue to be a hacker.